Gordon, send Lowerhouse to save the house. Come on, the house!
Hello everyone and welcome to Lowerhouse Cricket Club Housecast. We're getting into autumn as we speak. The leaves are falling. The nights are going longer. I nearly said shorter then. And we decided to do a bit of a podcast just as a catch-up. Nothing special with no guests on. A couple of draws, I think, to do. But why not? Hopefully people like it. I've mentioned it to a couple of our Lowerhouse friends in the last couple of weeks, and they're desperate for us to do some more. So we'll carry on. So without further ado, Joe Martin, how's it going, Joe, after the season?
Excellent, Jez. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, not too bad. It's been very busy. Been very busy. We've been playing paddle. You are?
At work or
everything really, work,
yeah,
paddle, outside, cricket, hectic social life.
Yeah.
Vibrant
Do you know what
social
paddle is?
calendar.
You've referred to paddle a couple of times there. Do you know what paddle is?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah. I've never played it. Have you played it, Duke?
No, they keep
No, but
pestering
Joe
me to
would be
play,
good
but
at it.
I don't want to play.
He's a pickleballer.
Can I make? Would you?
That's a sport as well.
Joe Martin, would you just take me for one game with no one watching or anything?
You want?
You didn't seem very enthusiastic.
Yes, let's go.
Brilliant. Anyway, we'll come back to paddle because I do have some questions about it. Gooch, thanks very much for agreeing to join us in this towards the end of October episode. How's it going after the season? Have you all chilled out and your stress levels come down?
Yeah. So all good. Enjoy the end of the season. By the time, I think I've said this a few times, but by the time I get to the end of the season, I'm ready for a break. So yeah, been still seeing plenty of most of the lads, playing a bit of golf with a few of them.
Oh, that's good.
See Joe quite a bit, chat to Joe quite a bit.
Brilliant. There's getting quite a group of I can't think of a collective name for cricketers, so I'll say a group of
Creamers.
Creamers, yeah. A spread of creamers playing golf up Nelson now, isn't there? I was with Pete Sim about 3 weeks ago. I had a game up there with him, and he was saying there's Lowerhouses everywhere.
Yeah, and I spoke to him after you played, and he was remarkably impressed with how well you played. He was. I'm not being facetious at all. He said the other. Who else did you play with?
Dave Indle.
Yeah, he said he was terrible. He said, but you were decent.
Steve Cooney was the other one.
Well, he plays though, Jess, doesn't he?
Yeah, Steve and Simmy play off, I think, 14. Dave Indle doesn't play a great deal. I think his son-in-law's he's the ex-captain up at Nelson, is he, Joe?
Who's his son-in-law?
I can't remember his name now, so that's a wasted story, isn't it? But he's only a youngish lad. He played, he was off minus whatever or plus whatever, and Dave wants to take it up, but I'm not sure. I think what will happen, I don't know if Simmy ever listens to this, but what happened when we were playing...
It's Charlie Ellis. It's Charlie Ellis into his son-in-law.
That's it.
Yeah, he's not an ex-captain.
Oh, is he not? All right.
No, but he's one of the better players up there. He's one of the best players in the club, but he's never been captain.
No, I got it wrong. I didn't mean to say captain. I meant to say pro.
The pro he was, yeah. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. So anyway, we've gone up there. It's absolutely tipping it down. But fair play to Simmy. He organised it all, and we had, all the right gear. And it's just hand-eye coordination, isn't it? So 1 in 3, or maybe 1 in 5, I would certainly off the tee. But what really got Simmy fed up was when I did it straight, it went like 50 metres further than his.
And he plays every week.
Yeah, and he was always dead straight. And mine are going off at all sorts of tangents, and the odd one I hit were going further, and he couldn't get his head around it. But he still went round him, probably 10 or 15 less than me. But it was a good afternoon. It's great up there. Enjoyed it. It was nice course. Had a pint after, but it was a good crack.
Is it worth saying, just because this is a Lowerhouse podcast, should we just tell everybody who Pete Sim is, whose uncle is Jez?
Yeah, Jack and Danny.
Jack and Danny, correct, yeah.
Yeah, Jack and Danny's uncle. I joined the police with Simmy. That's how we so friendly. And then obviously Steve comes down a lot, and he had Jack and Danny. I knew Simmy's dad as well. He was a lovely fella. Worked at Paddy and Nick. So anyway, so that's who they are. We're waffling on a lot here, aren't we? About things.
Lovely chatting.
Let's go back to the Nelson Golf Club, because I think Blaise plays up there a lot, doesn't he? Matt does. Matt Hope.
Yeah.
Frank, yourself. So do you ever all play together? Is it that?
Yeah, you can do, yeah.
You
There's quite a lot of cricketers from other clubs as well, and who play there, yeah. Andy
That's
Payne.
why Jez was there. Wanted to record them.
Wanted some podcast guests from other clubs. Andy Payne, Andy McLeod, David Brown, Nick Moulding.
Right.
There's quite a few. I probably missed somebody really obvious, but Mick Anderson, obviously, he's an ex-captain. This is really boring chat. This we have to move on pretty quick from golf because nobody's interested.
Let's move on. Do you have between you all, certainly the Lowerhouses, when you're playing together, do you get together with like a WhatsApp group as to what you're going to wear?
No, that's never happened.
When you're going up to play the game, because you dress quite strange, don't you golfers? I've noticed.
I mean, it's rich coming from us that wear Beryl Whites every weekend, Jez.
I know, but they have what to wear.
No, I've never done that anyway.
No.
But Dooch is a snappy dresser, so
he is. Yeah, he is. So the season's finished. Anything? I mean, on an official side, Dooch, anything to report around the players? Everyone all right? There's no injuries, long-term injuries that have come to the fore now. They're all rested out, and anything to report?
No, there's nothing actually. We've had a couple of discussions about cricket since the season finished, but there's not much happening really. Obviously, Tom Walker's gone to Australia, which happened before the season finished, and I think we probably discussed it last time.
Yeah.
We don't know for certain if that book is closed, but we're just waiting really, or keep in touch with him just to see if there is any possibility of him coming back. But not really anything to say on that at the moment.
No, and I suppose, I'm going to put my little walk head on now. It doesn't matter. He's such a great lad if he enjoys his life over there and he gets a cricket club and plays good cricket and good time, then great. And if he doesn't and he want to come back, then we'll benefit the club. And
that's exactly it.
I think for planning purposes, Jez, I think we've got to assume that he's not.
Yeah, I agree.
And hope that if he does want to, then that option's there, isn't it? So because he had a great season, played really well,
and he just seemed to be improving, didn't he? As he matured, as he got older, stronger, and bigger. So that's great, Dooch. And for the listeners, we will be doing this. We won't be doing it every month, I don't think, but we're looking at getting some guests on. There's one ex-pro that we've had who will leave us a bit of surprise that we've made contact with, and he's quite keen to come on. He'll be fantastic. We'll get him on. And we will talk as we get towards the new year and into the new year with regard to any changes or training and everything else. But I think it's important to mention now around the socials down at the club. Do you get down there, Dooch, when they have the socials on?
I've been to a couple, but I haven't. I'm usually playing golf on a Sunday, so I tend not to bother. But I've been to a couple, but not a lot.
I mean, it's a great, for Sam, who's taking it on, and she's doing a great job, and Gracie, who's helping out with the quizzes and the football games that are on there. Going down to watch that. So anyone who's interested, have a look on the website or on Twitter, or message any of us or the committee if you want to know when they're on. Get yourself down, have a couple of pints through the winter. It'll help it go through through quickly. Joe Martin, what's yourself? What are you going to be like through the winter with regard to your training regime and keeping yourself on track?
So I still run every day,
Really, great.
every morning, and yeah, I go every morning. And as I don't know how well documented it is, I guess, but the last season was one of the most enjoyable that I've had for quite a few years. Oh,
Right.
since Dooch played, I guess. And so I don't know, the atmosphere was really great last year, so it's actually kind of spurred me on a little bit to do some more cricket specific stuff before Christmas and then after Christmas as well, which I've never ever done. I haven't done that for
Right.
quite a few years. So we'll do a little bit. We're starting up with the juniors as well before Christmas. So we've got the APP program that's starting in November. So they're with the players that we think are at the minute have really good chances of playing first team cricket in future years. They're not, the young young players, they're 12, 13, 14, but they've got a lot of potential. So if we can support them to get to that point, then that's a really good thing. And the earlier we do it, I think the better it be. So that starts soon. And we've got the kind of junior, some of the junior training starting before Christmas as well. So there's lots of cricket that's going on too. That's going to take up some time. I don't mean take up some time. That's there, so it's good.
Is there any scope for people who are listening to this to get the juniors to come down? Is there a contact that they can do that, or do they need to do that in the summer and then get established?
What do you mean?
If someone's listening and has got a 7-year-old who's lives
All
in
right,
the
yeah, sorry.
come to do some nets. I'm sorry I didn't tell you it in Joe Martin language.
I knew what you meant, Jez.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so if they contact Stan or the club, there's various ways that you can contact the club, just through a normal internet search or on the club website. Depending on their age, there's some things before Christmas that they might be able to attend. They tend to be the younger end, so they do the kind of fundamental skills, see if they're ready. So I'd say probably 9 and younger.
Yeah.
And then if they're a little bit older, there's the winter program that starts in February. Again, contact the club, say, and then they can make a kind of judgment on that and the best route forward as well.
Right.
So there's quite a few opportunities if people are interested in playing, and also if anybody wants to make a comeback.
Right. Okay.
Door is always open.
Who's that? Dooch?
No, Dooch doesn't want to play. But just in general, like last year, for example, Pinky came back and played and did a fantastic job with the 4th team. And I spent quite a lot of time with Pinky last year, which was fantastic. Listening to some of the old stories, but also getting his perspective on what the new things that happened. So if players that haven't played for a while and are interested in playing again, they see how well the club's run, then the doors are open as well if there's kind of spots available, I guess.
Brilliant. I mean, that's a really good idea, Joe, but I've got to bring it back down to mine and Dooch's level. Let's have a think. Who would be your favourite person to come back and play next year? Shez?
Yeah.
Johnny Russell.
Oh, yeah. Interesting story about Johnny Russell. Who did you say, Ches?
Very small, or Tommy Shutt? Because he'd get hundreds of wickets, wouldn't he?
Would, yeah.
What was he like, Jez? That's what I want to know. What was he like as a bloke?
He was a solid character. It's where I learned all my techniques from for you, Rugrats.
Who did you say, Dooch?
Johnny.
Johnny Russell. So in the summer, I spoke to Johnny Russell, and I'd completely forgotten or not even kind of acknowledged that he retired when he was 31.
Yeah, no. He had loads of other stuff going on though, didn't he? He didn't
Oh
retire
yeah,
because he was physically not capable of playing anymore.
oh no, I know that, but it's
And don't forget,
relative
he
to how good he was.
he hated cricket as well. Don't forget that. He hated it.
He only hated one thing more than cricket, and that was batting. I never, honestly, towards the end of my career, when Johnny and I played together, I'd give up my batting, probably 5-10 years before I finished playing. And I used to enjoy it before that, but when my legs wouldn't work, I was knackered. We used to have arguments about who were going to bat at 10 or 11. No, I'm hurting more than you. No, I'm hurting more than you. And he would, but he just didn't like it at all. I think he gave his wicket away on odd occasions.
He was a fantastic bowler, though, wasn't he? Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd quite like to see Shez play again. I can remember watching him as a kid, but I now spend a lot of time with him.
Yeah.
So I like to see him in his current format.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting then. So do we want him back? We can't have Tommy Shuck back in his current format. So I think we're better off having him back as they were.
In the bomb. Yeah.
The
bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that brings me on to the ideas that we've been having, lads. And I think it's really good that we can just chat this through as if we're, sat at a bar, and hopefully the listeners can contact us via the X, the Twitter account, or on Facebook, directly around the ideas we've got for the next 2 or 3 months. So we've been planning this for probably 3 or 4 months. We didn't want to announce it during the season, but we want to get a project together where we, the Housecast hosts, debate and decide on the best side that have played for Lowerhouse. Obviously, us three have talked it through. We've got set criteria. Have you had any change of heart at all, Dooch, around what we'd said about the timescales and picking them?
What did we say? 50 years, did we say?
Yeah. We said
I think that's right. I think that's about right.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. So the best team, the best 11 in a team, in the format of a team. So you need a wicket keeper, you need bowlers, you need batters. It's got to be a balanced team. For any player that's played amateur cricket. Are we having 10 amateurs and 1 pro?
1 pro, yeah. I think, yeah.
10 amateurs, 1 pro that's represented Lowerhouse in the last 50 years.
Yeah. I mean, and we've been messaging when you two should be working. We came up with what would be the format for it, and we said mandatory. They must have played first team cricket after 1974.
Right, okay.
We said the amateur must have played 30 games or more in the first team. And we said the pro must have played over 15 games. Because you think of some of the sub-pro.
Sub-pro, yeah.
We wouldn't want that. And then we said, and this is where it's going to get really, really messy. And we can't set criteria for this, but do we pick individuals just on talent or on the fact they've obviously got to be talented, but they're also a team player, and also what they've contributed to the Lowerhouse cause, if you will, the building of Lowerhouse. And you know where I'm coming from there. And I'm not after real decisions around this now, because we're going to have to debate this at some length. My point is, we've had some great players play 1 season, did jack shit for the club before or after, but were probably as good as anyone else that played for us. So that is something we need to consider. I'll come back to that one in a minute. And then the final thing we decide, or that we discuss between us, and we've not finalised it yet, it's got to be 4 or 5 batters and then 3 or 4 bowlers. So we need to decide if we're going to have a set criteria for that. There has to be 1 wicket keeper, who obviously will also bat, 1 pro, and then 1 genuine all-rounder. So, have you had? I mean, it's probably a couple of months ago since we decided this. Have you had any more thoughts between you two before we throw it out to the guests?
I've pretty much. Well, I've got a team with a few options in all the positions, but I was going to say I think we could save ourselves a little bit of time when we actually get down to discussing it and negotiating between ourselves. I think we're going to have 2, maybe 3 absolute shoo-ins that we don't need to debate, and we can just move on from those.
Okay.
I think there's 3, but you might say there's 2, and one of mine's still playing. One of my shoo-ins is still playing, yeah.
Right.
Absolute shoo-in. Nobody in his position gets anywhere near him, but he's still playing.
Right.
And you will not be able to find anybody in the last 50 years who can lace his boots doing what he does.
Right, okay.
One of the things I've struggled with, Jez, is the kind of, I've played for, I don't know, 15 years. And, there's a group of players that have won a lot of things and are excellent, but are still achieving stuff and still, increasing the number of wickets they're taking, increasing the number of runs. So they're not quite at the top of the list yet, whereas other people are. So I've really struggled with the kind of the people that have already done it,
Yeah,
relative to the people that are doing it and could surpass them
yeah,
in the future, but they might not. It's an interesting question about whether you pick it on.
I need to go back as well. I need
longevity
to go
and
back
stuff.
on that last bold statement, that very bold statement that I
So,
made.
Dooch, can we come back to you? Because we're flitting around a lot here. We're all getting
Okay.
excited. Let me come back to you with that bold statement and just try and answer Joe Martin's. I've never heard anything as ridiculous in my life, Joe.
Really?
Yeah, well, we can't. What do you want us to do? Get a
No, I don't want you to do anything. I'm just saying the decision that you've got to make.
What are them glass balls that those people looking? Those
Crystal balls.
crystal ball. We can't get a crystal ball to see how they're going to go on. And the other downside of your point is, what about the players that played before 75? Why can't we include them? We've got to have cut-offs.
Yes, agreed.
And it's a judgment call, Joe. We're not.
Yeah, of course.
There's no black and white rules here.
Some people will be disappointed, though, aren't they?
No, that's fine. I don't think they'll be that disappointed.
Oh, I think they'll be uproar.
And we're not doing it. And again, Joe Martin, I'll come back to you in a minute about how other people feel about what we decide in the end. So go on, dudes. Go back to your bold statement.
The 2 absolute shoo-ins that everybody will have, Jez and Blaise. Of course, Blaise is still playing. I didn't mean him when I said there's one who's still playing. I meant one who you might be surprised that makes my list of shoo-ins.
Yeah, when you were saying it, I mean, the listeners can't see you on the screen like I can, and I didn't think you meant Blaise the way you.
No, I didn't mean Blaise.
I know you didn't.
There's another one.
Tell the way you were your demeanour, and I'm not sure we should go much further on.
No, I don't either, Jez.
And who we're thinking about. I think we should get the rules out there, and then I'd like to encourage supporters, listeners, fans, ex-players, current players to come into the Housecast, maybe on Twitter, and give their views about it, because I do feel it's not going to get. So go back to your point, Joe Martin, about what other people think. The bottom line is we'll debate it and not always online and not always live, because it could get boring. So we might need to edit things out and how we decide what is the final team. But it's tough. we will have a vote. So I'll come on to that now. What we have decided between us, and this is still flexible, if anyone's got any other views, there will be 5 people who can contribute to this. So that's Joe Martin, Joe Beneducci, myself, Gary, and Gav. So that's Gary Morehouse and Gav Shields. So the 5 of us will pick our side independently. We will then start the debate. And obviously, as Dooch has alluded to, the 1 or 2 or 3 players that are common to all 5, we've got to have unanimous at the start. This is a little bit like a Crown Court. We will start off with unanimous, and then after however many hours of deliberation, we can then start going to a majority. And then if we'd still get into 2 are voting for one, 2 are voting for another, 1 sat on the fence, because there is someone out of those 5 who does sit on the fence a lot, then we've got to
Gary. He's bad for it.
then we've got to meet at Lowerhouse and have a fighting car park.
I was going to say a duel of some kind, but
Yes,
that's quite medieval.
So please, listeners, if you want to contribute to it, then please do. We're not accepting any other people to come in and have a final vote, but we will listen to people's views and their outlook, and not just the views of the quality of the player, because I think we will debate as much how someone warrants getting into the team as much as the standard of their career or their stats for Lowerhouse. So that's one idea we've got. Anything else, Joe Dooch, before we move on from that one?
No, I'm looking forward to it though. I think it'll be a good chat, and I actually think we'll be surprised by how common our views are. Actually, when I've gone through the options, yeah, I think there'll be a lot of common ground. There'll be a couple that we struggle on. I think one of the openers might be up for debate.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest issues. I think
that because there's a lot of high caliber. Options across different eras there.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the others will be fairly common.
I'm not so sure. Because I do think, and again, we're not going to debate players now. I'm just talking about positions. How do we manipulate an all-rounder or a wicket keeper? A batter, yeah, okay. A bowler, yeah, okay. You're looking at a wicket keeper. Do you sacrifice someone who was maybe a little bit better than someone else and put them in because of the runs they're going to get? Again, we're not going to debate it now. We're going to be ahead of ourselves. But they are. I'm not so sure, Dooch, it's going to be as cut and dried as you think.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Fantastic. This is exciting.
And again, Joe Martin, I think maybe if we can do maybe a couple of episodes where we drip feed in. I mean, it's not about teasing the audience, albeit some people might think it is, but if we could try and plan it and have the final podcast live at the club,
fantastic,
that could work well. Maybe not with an audience, for fear,
but with a curry,
with a free curry from Matt Stanley.
Absolutely. Here we go. We should do this before Christmas. Fantastic.
But I'm not sure we want an audience because, we don't want any fisticuffs. We'll have to get some bouncers in because there will be people that are not happy and disagree. We've already, haven't we, between the 3 of us, had someone who disagrees with the format of it and they're not even on the Housecast.
One of those things.
Let's see. So then let's just move on and chat. We're not waffling on. No, it's only past. Oh. We're up for any other ideas or topics that we can talk about which entertain us in the winter nights and also the listeners. Dooch, do we want to talk about the one that we were discussing midweek on a WhatsApp, or leave it around the players' names?
Do it if you want. We were just having a random nonsense chat about players' names because England in the West Indies might be opening the batting with Phil Salt and Michael Pepper. So we were trying to come up with like a Lowerhouse themed version of that, and we couldn't really make anything work. There isn't any. We couldn't really come up with food items. The nearest we could get was was Lowerhouse Birds 11.
So let me paint a picture for yourself, Joe Martin. We've sprung this on Joe. So I'm travelling back on a boat and I've got a signal, but I'm doing nothing for 20 hours. Joe Beneducci should be working, but we're messaging backwards and forwards. So we come up with the idea of the birds, a bird 11 for Lowerhouse. We thought about beers, we thought about food, but we came up with a bird 11. So Joe Martin, I want you to start to think about players that we've got that have got the birds. The names are, literally birds.
Uh,
So we
Chris
to start
Swift.
with one. What a Chris Swift, excellent one, and his dad
Yeah.
Mick. So you
And
can
Mick,
both play.
yeah,
You
fantastic.
can both play.
Right, so they can bat. One can open and one can bat 3. I
You need to look a little bit closer to home.
don't think there's a Beneducci bird.
What about the Martin?
Is that a bird?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. So
A
that's
fisher?
two more.
Oh no, it's kingfisher, isn't it? Did we have a kingfisher that ever played?
No.
So that's two more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
two
two
more. So we've got
Martins.
4.
That's four.
Trying to think of different
what about
birds. Buzzard? Do we have any
Jonathan
buzzards?
Chaffinch?
He's got
Lovely stuff. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, enjoyed
Chaffinch.
that one.
He just got another one, Dooch, whilst we were talking about Chaffinch. Buzzard does count for Buzzard. That's
Yeah.
a 10.
Again, there's 2 of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
2 of them.
So
Chris and
that,
Dave Buzzard.
Dave Buzzard. I mean, tenuous in it at best. Christ
so
almighty.
that's 7.
Evan, Dave, and Chris Buzzard.
Yeah.
It's got no kind of. Do we
What
have
about
an eagle?
what about one of your current teammates?
Hawk, Joe Hawk.
Joe
Well
Hawk, correct. Well done.
8.
Lovely stuff. We're gonna have to span eras now, I reckon, are we?
What about as a non-playing selection? The cricket chairman, greatest cricket chairman we've ever had. Club chairman, not cricket chairman.
Oh, David Wren.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wren. And Andrew Wren
Nice.
played a bit, so he could be in as well.
Yeah.
Well, if we're struggling for players, I'm sure Judith and Laura Wren would play as well.
Yeah. 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 Just like I'm sure Susan Martin would.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
or Suzanne and Steph Buzzard.
Buzzard. Yeah.
They've
So
changed
then-
their names, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Um,
of course.
What about Goose? Dave Wally. His
Yeah.
nickname was Goose.
Because of his neck. I'm having that.
And then
I don't think I
I
think
thought
of
we'd need a
anymore.
pro. We need a pro, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So we could have Andrew McDonald Duck. And with umpire. So we could ask Gordon Howley.
With no out.
Hey, but you could have Paddy and you could have the 3 Howleys as Howleys
Yeah.
to play, couldn't you? Fantastic.
And that's
Brilliant.
it. So we ain't got any more. So we thought we could maybe, if anybody, and Johnny Russell, if he's listening to this, he'll definitely be able to come up with a few. So if anybody can come up with another bird-related play for Lowerhouse, then get in touch. But we will not accept Gavin Shields and Matt Stansfield because they're just a couple of tits.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. So that took us 2 or 3 hours to go through. We did start thinking of beers, and we had Morehouse, and we had, I can't remember who the other one was. We had we went through a few other ones. Morehouse, Smiths, Webster's, Bailey's,
And Chris Cronenberg.
yeah, Johnny Walker. But we couldn't get anywhere near 10, so we like the birds. So if anyone's got any other ones that we can debate, then that would be great to get them on here. There's another bit of a game I've got in my mind where we have 2 teams, so we'd need the 5 of us on. So it would be who did I put together? I mean, it would be Gary and Gav and Dooch and Joe Martin guessing how many runs an individual has scored for Lowerhouse, and you've got to, whoever gets the closest, you count up the scores, and the lowest score wins and gets a special prize. But I need to develop that one a little bit. But I'm just putting it out there.
I like it, Jez. There is another game that I think would be good, which is, I listened to it on another podcast, but it's fine. Well, we can share.
Yeah, matter.
Starting 11s, where you go around, you pick a random game, like a first team game or whatever, from any era. Well, ones that we know. You go, and then you're in teams again. Could be part of the Housecast quiz, and you have to go around and you have to say a player that played on both teams who played in that game.
Yeah,
I like that. We had a go at that wrong. Did we not have a go at that one game this year? Were we trying to guess one from this year?
Yes, yeah, you're right. I think it was a Todmorden game.
Yeah.
I don't think we were playing a Todmorden. I think it was a game against, or it might have been a Burnley game. I think it might have been a Burnley game with Chippy.
Yeah. There was some, it was, you're right. There were some real odd names in it, weren't there?
Yeah.
No, that sounds good. That sounds good. And it will, because we do want to keep these going, and we just don't need to waffle about inane stuff that gets everyone bored. So that would be fantastic if we could get things kicked off like that. But we promised the best 11. And we might need to quote something different than the best 11. The Housecast 11, it might be better called. If people want to contribute, then feel free. Anything else that we need to catch up on between the 3 of us? I've got 2 draws to do. I'd like both to be involved. Make sure there's no underhanded business on these. Anything else you want to discuss before we go into that?
Should probably just shout out the bonfire, shouldn't we? Club bonfire on Saturday, the 2nd of November. Main fundraising event in the year for the club. There's always bits and bobs of help that the team require, both on the night and in the week leading up to the event. Charlie builds the bonfire with his team of helpers in the lead up to the event, but Frank's also looking for people to give us a chuck up on the night, whether that be stewarding or helping scan tickets and things like that. So if you can spare a couple of hours, either in the week in the run up to the event or on the night itself, then just get in touch with anybody and we'll put you in touch with the right person to sort that out.
Likely to be building the bonfire the back end of next week. So if you're available for however, it doesn't matter how long, but if you can lend a hand.
You better say what date that is, Joe, in case, because we don't know when this podcast's going out, do we? So that's the...
No, so that's the...
It'll be the 30th, 31st for the 1st, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Brilliant. No, it's really well worth giving that shout out. It's always so busy, and the way that it's gone in the last 10 years, thanks to the people you mentioned, Dooch, is a credit to them and to how much the club is supported and helped. The money that's raised from there to assist with the outdoor nets, assist with the junior cricket, paying for the professional, getting everything in order is absolutely phenomenal. I think it's worth just mentioning, I'm sure we've mentioned it before. Were you still around? I don't think Joe Martin would have been, but Doochie, would you have been there when we used to have him on the car park?
What year? I don't think so. I might have been at the club, but I wasn't helping out. Yeah. We
used to, and I wouldn't even like to think about what year it would be. Would Adam and Amy have been born? I don't know, but we used to have them in the middle of the car park. And one year it burnt two of the telephone lines down from the telegraph pole, and it getting that bigger and bigger, and it was people just letting off fireworks from the back of the car, and in dressing rooms there were rockets and all sorts flying all over the car park. When you look at how we organised it is now with that the firework display that goes on now, it's good for the community as well. It keeps people a little bit safer, and so anyone can help, please give us a shout. Any of us, or message Stan, and they'll put you in the right direction of where you can help. Okay, so let's move on to the draw. We've 2 to do, September and October. Just give a shout out initially. I hope I haven't missed anyone. Graham Martin's been in touch and wants another number. So Graham's new number is 27. So he's now got a couple of numbers. I'm just looking through the list. I don't think there's any new participants since last time. I know Warren De Veers keeps wanting to get in, and he keeps messing up, I think, with his standing order. But we'll get you in soon, was it? So no, that's where we're up to with it, Joe. So if you don't mind, Joe Martin, getting your random generated number system going, the ball's in your bag, up to number 177, please.
We're there, Jez.
First prize, September, for £100 is
number 14.
Number 14, 1-4. Well, there couldn't be a better winner for a lot of us. It gives me a lot of pleasure, really, because Matt Stansfield's always whinging about never winning. So number 14 is Adele Stansfield.
He'll never see that.
I don't think it's that long since she won a do.
Let's have a look. Well, it says here May 21, unless I've not.
All right, maybe it is, yeah.
So, yeah, May 21. It does seem to roll on. But you're right there. I'm sure Matt won't see any of that, and rightly so. I was going to get Matt on because he whinges all the time when we're off that his number's not even in. But there we go. Second prize for £80, please, Joe.
Number 7.
Number 7, Cheryl Marquis, Matt Marquis's mum.
Superb.
Cheryl's been in almost, I think, since it started. Fantastic contributor to the 100 Club, or the Lowerhouse draw as it is now. So £80 goes to Cheryl. Next one, Joe, £70, third prize.
170.
170, that's a long way down. Oh, crikey, I nearly said it as well then. Dennis Daly. So the fourth prize for £50.
Number 72.
Yeah, number 72, Justin Stockdale. Justin's an ex-wicketkeeper.
All right, I think he's won before.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he won February this year, February 24.
Oh, well done.
Justin is a real character, Joy. He came to watch us, I think, last year. He now lives south of Birmingham. He went to school with Matt. Him and Matt Oak were really good friends at school. They were a good stumper. I played first team, I think, a few games, a decent bat. So that concludes the September draw. If we can move on to October, first prize, £100.
Number 49.
Check at that. 49 Jackson. Oh,
He thinks every other week. Honestly, it's ridiculous.
he did. Jack won in July 24. I think he's won previously in 24.
Yeah, and Danny's had a winner as well.
Yeah, and Danny has. So
Jack and Danny both had a winner.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Well done, Jack. You can see we're all pleased for you. Second prize, £80. Joe.
Number 84.
Number 84 is Henry Cotton.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh.
Lovely stuff. Excellent stuff.
Henry's only recently joined his dad at the AGM, put him forward. So it is his first win. I think everyone knows Henry's Charlie's lad, played in the first team regularly for the last few years. Yeah, joined in June 24. So well done, Henry. 80 quid that I'll send to your dad. And he can
He's
decide.
one of my favourite cricketers, Jez.
Really?
Yep. Really. I really enjoy watching him play cricket. It's good.
Right, good. Third prize, £70, please, Joe.
Number 56.
56 is our retired bank manager. Anyone know him?
Ooh, I don't know. Is it Clive?
Yes, Clive
Clive
Spencer
Spencer.
won in March 24.
Lovely stuff.
Start going back to fiddling these a little bit. There's too many winning who've won previously. Like, I mean, Dooch has not won for a long time. I don't think I've won for a while. So well done, Clive. £50 coming your way. The last prize, no, sorry, £70 going your way, Clive. And the last prize for £50 and the October draw is
Number 99.
My
Blake
favourite type of ice cream, that.
Is it?
well, what's chances?
Would you get any sprinkles or anything on it?
Yeah.
Or would you eat the
Sauce for
flake
what?
first?
No.
No. Fair enough. Sorry, Jez.
Eliza Cotton.
No way!
What?
Where?
What?
Wait.
This is ridiculous.
Where
It's just one of those things, isn't it?
Charlie upgraded his standing order so he could get, because Louisa's already in and Eliza and Henry, so they're in. So there's the winners for September, October. They will be on social media soon, and I will contact everyone to get them paid out as soon as possible. So thanks everyone for contributing to the draw. Anyone listening wants to join in, please message. We're having quite a few messages of getting new members over the last 6 to 12 months. It's it's all for a good cause, and it's a good bit of banter for us to draw. So that's good. So Joe Martin, I think we've done we've done 50 minutes. That's a real effort. Can get out in one go. I don't think it needs any editing, Joe. If you can get it out. Anything, Joe Martin, before we cut this episode?
Don't think so. Lovely to be back.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's great. It's great. I was listening to someone. I were on a boat for hours, as I keep telling you, and I was listening to some of the old podcasts. If you've got a spare half hour, or you're just wandering around, or even on golf course, dude, when you're messing around, just put some old podcasts on. I cannot remember some of the things that were done and some of the things that were said, and how we really got away with it. But
Haggers says now that the first Christmas podcast is one of the best things he's ever listened to.
Organised chaos, that wasn't it? Not
It
so
was
organised.
ridiculous.
yeah, it was. We're not doing all of them this Christmas, so we don't.
No, I don't think so. I think it was one of those where it was the first lockdown, wasn't it, or the Christmas lockdown, and we'd just been shut down again.
I remember tasking you, Joe, with right. I'm not going to do anything on this. I just want to listen and laugh and have a few times. But can you manage it? And you didn't say anything for the first 20 minutes.
Well, I couldn't. I didn't have an opportunity to. I just kept going, saying, "Yeah, welcome," and then someone would come in with something else. Nicky was there for the first 20 minutes before he had to leave to go to an online concert.
3 people on his screen.
Yeah. No. Oh, yeah, no.
It's gone again.
Nicky, you've gone again.
Nicky, what do I have to do to see everybody on my screen?
It made it worse, I think, that you could see everyone, because when people thought that they couldn't hear you, could they? And then when Shez appeared on it, and was it Stan that mentioned about him welding because of those glasses he had on?
He's never seen glasses made by Everest.
Yeah, that's right. Absolute quality. I'm going to go back and listen to that later.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but we won't be having one this Christmas. So, Dooch, final words from you, please, pal, before we move on.
I've just got a couple of opponents in the Lowerhouse Birds 11.
Oh, go on.
Kez.
Oh, yeah, Kez, yeah.
And what about your mate who used to open batting for Nelson? Parrots.
Gareth, yeah. Parrots. Yeah.
Kez who?
Kez who? Kez, yeah, Kez.
Are you taking me?
Kez Roscoe.
Is a Roscoe bird?
Kez, the famous kestrel from the film Kez.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Oh,
well, it's a classic.
Yeah, is it? Who filmed it?
Who filmed it?
Who was the director?
I have no idea.
No, it's famous. It's like Ken Loach or someone. I don't know. Something like that. Can we check, please? Just I've never seen it.
I suggest you watch it. It's a classic. Get off that
Sure it is.
crossbar!
Was it like your school days, Jez, or?
It was actually, yeah, like teaching you with Bobby Charlton.
I've never seen it.
We'll get watching it. Can you not find it, Dooch?
It was Ken Loach, you're right, Joe.
I thought it was.
You geek.
So you knew who directed it, but you didn't know it was a bird in it called Kez.
I know. I just thought that was the main character.
Okay.
I thought it was about a boy called Kez that went to school and was bullied. Is that not what happens?
No, not really.
Oh, fair enough. Well,
Right.
you know, we can discuss this next time.
Of course we can.
Do-
Of course we
Do a
can.
watch along.
Yeah, we could watch it and comment on it as it's going along.
I'm very excited for our all-time 11s. I'm
Yeah.
gonna write a list tomorrow.
When are we doing it?
I might
When
even
are
do
we
it
doing
tonight.
it?
Oh, we should do it soon, Jez.
I'll send out a message. I think all 5 of us have got to be online
Mm.
to debate, even if we do it in sections. You know, just
Yeah.
it's here and
Pick the openers and the 3 and 4
Oh,
or
yeah, that's a good idea.
mm.
I mean, is it worse? And we probably don't need the listeners to listen to this, but it doesn't really matter. I'd probably set up a WhatsApp group and just put your team on and then let other people think about it and we'll have a dial-in. Or do you think you're better off just disclosing it when we're all on?
I think there's a surprise element to it, Jez. That's
Yeah,
gonna be.
I don't like that idea. I like doing your research, getting your team together, and then coming and presenting.
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
band.
So we go around the room. Right, batter number 1 for me is whoever. Then right, Joe Martin, who's your number 1 batter, so and so, and then it go around, and then number 2. Right, okay, yeah, no, that sounds good.
And then for the last one, did you say that we're going to pick our best team?
Well, we have to get to the best 11.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have
yeah.
to be on the best 11.
Yeah.
We have to reach consensus. That's what it's saying.
Yes, yeah. We went through the jury system earlier,
Yeah.
but do on the recordings. This isn't interesting. We don't need to do this. I was just going to ask. I'm going to carry on anyway. I was going to ask Jez, do we need to? So when we talk about the different positions, do we need to discuss the?
That's a different podcast.
Very much so. Lovely stuff. Yeah, excellent. I enjoyed that. My eyes are watering. As you know, that can happen. Yeah, lovely.
And obviously, any players that get a unanimous, are straight in, and we'll have a sheet there straight in, and then we have to decide how long we wait before we accept a 4-1.
Yeah,
and 3-2, and it's in the car park.
and I'm ready.
Okay.
I can windmill.
Right, brilliant. If there's nothing else, thanks everyone. Thanks you too. It's really good of you to come on this dark. It's not cold, but it's a dark October night. It's a great way to spend an hour. I love doing it, so I hope everyone enjoys it. Subscribe and tell your mates about it. Any ideas, then give us a shout on our platform on Twitter. Just put a message in there and we'll definitely respond to you. So thanks everyone for listening.
Gordon, send Morehouse to save the house.